If you are struggling on your fitness journey, watch this video. This is exactly how I get through tough times because believe me, I've been through a lot of it. I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos the other day that I'm going to be directly addressing in this video, which I will put up here on the screen. Thank you so much for leaving that comment. I'm going to lay out pretty much the answer to everything that you're asking for you in this video. I know it's really easy to see everyone that posts online and kind of have us tell you our story and everything that we've done, but you don't really see what it feels like to actually do it because it's not how you think it's going to feel, if that makes sense, right? And it's because naturally our brains want us to be comfortable, right? So anytime we feel discomfort or we feel like we're suffering or, we're struggling at any point, we think that something's wrong. And in this video, I'm going to highlight what it felt like to be in the thick of it, right? You know you want more, you know that you want to be this person or you want to become this, you want to have this physique, you want to just be that person. And I reference the being that person because that's what I wanted to be. It was never like, oh, I want to look this way. Like, yeah, I wanted to have the physique that an athletic physique, but when I thought about it in my head, like what it is that I wanted, it was, I want to be this person. I want to be this person. And that person that I wanted to be happened to look like that. And it doesn't even happen to look like that. The person that I wanted to be looked like that because of who they were. And if you guys know me, you know what I'm about to say, but I believe this is just as much as a psychological journey as it is a physical journey. If you don't know me, that is literally a message that I preach all the time, is that not only are you implementing a healthier lifestyle, but you're literally reworking your brain to be that person that it is that you want to become. And in reworking that and breaking all the negative patterns that might be keeping you stuck in overweight and fat, that's going to require suffering. Like, it is not easy. That is why so many people are overweight. That is why so many people are suffering in a reality in which they're overweight, yet there's no end in sight, except, like I said previously, premature death if you're extremely overweight. Whereas you accept that you don't like this. I don't like being fat. I don't like being in this situation. I don't like my life. And then you do something about it. The doing something about it, I'm not trying to paint that as the easier option. I'm just painting it as suffering with a light at the end of the tunnel, right? You suffer for a little bit, but then you understand what it's like to be that person. Next thing you know, you are them. And then you can maintain that lifestyle, that physique with ease while also improving your health and wellness, right? Being fat and then just choosing the suffering and being fat for the rest of your life, you're just going to die and never have understood your true potential, never have really, in my opinion, enjoyed life to its fullest. And so that's kind of how I wanted to segue into answering the comment, which I will again reference right here, what it felt like to be in the transitional period of who you are and who you want to become. And if you clicked on this video and you kind of are resonating with the who you are, who you want to become, I'm going to tell you right now that you're probably never going to be satisfied, which is a good thing, as long as you pair that with your positive mindset, right? When you're never satisfied and you're insecure and you are extremely unhappy and you have a very negative mindset, that isn't healthy, and that can lead to a lot of self-destruction. However, if you are secure in yourself and you are confident and you have showed yourself that you are capable of transforming your physique, and I use transforming your physique there because that is the easiest way to teach yourself how to be great, how to persevere, how to do hard things and be okay, with absolutely no downside, okay? No downside because transforming your physique simply takes effort. That is it. It's the transformation with the most benefit where you literally have to put no upfront cost, except your time. And so, you guys know, if you've watched my videos before, transforming your physique will literally change your life because it will make you into a person who has a better life. But I'm not here to convince you to transform your physique because clearly if you click on this video, you're trying to make a change of some sort. So that's something that I want to take a second here and tell you, look at you. You're taking the step, you're taking the effort, you're trying to figure it out. And that is something that is going to carry you through that time of suffering. So when I was going through the transformation, it was difficult. It was hard. It was difficult because of the concept of delayed gratification, right? I'm showing up every single day, insecure in my body, in myself, in what I do, because I had the constant question every single day, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? I don't know, like, what if I'm wasting my time? What if? And it's like all that extra chaos and the problems that we create and the emotions that we feel just cloud our judgment even more. And all the things that we feel when we're suffering do not change the facts or the science or the reality behind what needs to be done for the changes to occur. So when you are in that period where you're like in the middle, as you referenced here, you are going to feel like you don't know what you're doing. You're going to feel like you want to quit. You're going to feel like you want to give up. And hell, I hope that can give you a sense of assurance that if you are feeling those things, I felt them too. That is just how it feels. That's in achieving anything. Because if you think about it, achieving anything worth something is difficult and it's completely normal. And something that I used to search for when I was in the thick of it or in the middle of it or in that transitioning period was assurance. You don't have it. You wake up every fucking day wondering if you are doing the right thing. Well, I'm not gonna say you do, but I did. I would be in a calorie deficit. I would train. I would do all that stuff. And I wouldn't see the physical reinforcement in the mirror that I wanted to see every day. Yet I had to keep showing up if I ever wanted to see it. And it's something that I had to learn after the fact. Because you will never believe that it's working. You will never believe in the suffering. You will never think that you're doing the right thing until you look in the mirror and you're like, holy fuck, I did it. And that is not just in fitness. That is when you're in the thick of anything. And kind of something that goes hand in hand with that is the more you remove your emotions from clouding your judgment, the more suffering you're willing to endure. Because really suffering is just feeling pain. And because I've gone through things where I had to suffer in order to achieve them, and it was something that delayed my gratification, I now look at that suffering or being in the thick of it or being at one of my lowest points as an indicator that I am on the right track and that I can learn something from it. Because when I'm not being tested, when I'm not being tried, when I'm not being pushed, when I'm not being challenged, I am not changing, I am not growing. And I didn't understand that until I had to keep moving forward. Because there was a point in my life where I would hit that roadblock and turn around and I would go try something new, right? Or I would say, I'm not meant for this, or I'm not, I'm just not that person. But I don't remember what time or what exact moment it was, but at some point I was like, let me keep going. I got knocked down, let me get up, right? Maybe this is an indicator that it's not gonna work. Maybe that this roadblock is just teaching me what I need to learn to become that person that it is that I wanted to be. And when I understood that, I started to realize that your brain will not always be working in your favor. It doesn't give a fuck if you're successful. It doesn't give a fuck if you ever get to point B. It just gives a fuck if you're safe. And sometimes not knowing if you're going to succeed can be perceived as a threat. Our brain will kind of push us back to safety, push us back to that comfortable job where it's not risky and it's safe, push us back to not having to put in effort when we're tired to go to the gym and work out and go put us on the couch and rest and relax and recover and tell ourselves, oh, we're tired, we worked, all this bullshit. Your brain will do that. And so that's another reason as to why I'm so big on the psychology of transforming, because when you are working against your brain while being unaware that your brain is literally working against you, you will get so frustrated and you will be so slowed down. Just understanding these simple things about the human brain and how you can make it work in your favor will make you experience less friction on this journey. And as much as I could say that I wish I could make it easier for you, I really don't, right? Because this transformation that we're looking for, the physical one, is a result of the mental fortitude that we build in the process. It all boils down to emotions and how much you can feel and how much you can suffer. Take it on the chin, get up and move forward. Because what needs to be done in terms of science, in terms of logic, in terms of reason, does not change. The only thing that varies between people are their emotions and their ability to handle them and their ability to endure. So it's not a matter of if you're going to get there, it's just a matter of when. And I hope that that can give you some assurance if you are in the middle of it, if you are in the thick of it, if you feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Let me be the one to tell you that you are. And if you clicked on this video to help you get through a rough time, just know that I am rooting for you. I have been there, and I know for a fact that you can do this. So now if you made it this far in the video, I'm going to answer your direct questions in the comment that you said. You mentioned, what was it like when you were in the thick of it? I pretty much answered that question, but it was hard. I struggled, but I realized that being in the thick of it, where I had to show up and didn't get results, was basically me conquering myself, me having to learn to trust myself and to trust the process and to trust things that I couldn't see and to show up every single day, regardless of what the result was. That taught me something else as well, that I needed to shift my perspective from being results-based to being process-based. So instead of being like, okay, do I look skinnier today? Okay, did the scale drop today? Instead of that, yes, those are good indicators to use if you want to measure your progress, but sometimes those fluctuate, right? And if you have a trust in your plan, you can look in the mirror and say, did I do this today? Did I do my cardio today? Did I do my dailies? Did I get my steps in? Did I do this? And that in and of itself, being able to check those off, regardless of what the scale says, regardless of what, you feel about it, those are wins. And that is a process-based win because I'm happy with the processes that I did because I know the physical results will come eventually. What was it like before you saw significant results? Mentally, it was a battle, like I just said. If you're talking about like a literal, what was it like? Well, I would show up to the gym and, your gains and your progressions as a beginner are much more than when you're a seasoned lifter, right? Because there's so much progress to be made. So I showed up every day and I was excited. It was new. It was great. There were still days that it was tough, but I noticed that although I wasn't getting physical results right away, it significantly made my day better. It improved my mental health and it overall gave me a sense of fulfillment, just knowing that I completed that, right? So going back to the whole process-based thing, right? No, I wasn't ripped yet or didn't have a six-pack, but I showed up to the gym when I didn't want to, when I said I was going to, when I still was busy, right? When I had to go to school and then work a 12-hour shift or whatever the hell I was doing at the time. I was proud of myself because I showed up, going back to that whole process-based thing. So at the beginning, you're going to have a lot of process-based wins. When you start to build muscle and see more definition and you lose fat, that's when you'll start to be able to look in the mirror and be like, I'm proud of myself. And now, side note, little, don't want to go off on a tangent, but side note, I used to walk past mirrors and I would wear baggy clothes and I would feel insecure and I wouldn't want to look. And I don't know if anyone has noticed or if you guys wonder, but I have like 2 to 3 before photos that I use in my thumbnails and that I use in my videos. And the reason behind that is because who the fuck wants to take pictures when they're insecure? Nobody. I didn't want to be in a photo. I didn't want to be seen in a bikini. I would literally go to the beach with my friends. I'd wear a bikini still because, I didn't want it to be obvious that I was insecure, but I just didn't want to be in pictures. I didn't want to see myself. I didn't want to, whatever. And I'm going to Mexico in like a week, and I was trying on some new bikinis, right, to go to the beach. And I just remember how it used to feel, and I walk past mirrors now and I'm proud of myself and I like see that. And I know what it feels like to be in the thick of it, right? To be trying to change it so bad and to be wanting to be confident and feeling that way. And, reading this comment and seeing this and, I just want to be what younger me needed and encourage you guys because I know that you're not going to get that enforcement from your physical changes as much as you'd like, especially when you're coming from a point of being insecure in yourself. I'm not saying that you are specifically from this comment, but if you are, and I walked past the mirror the other day, just in my sports bra and my shorts, because there's a mirror right behind the camera in my office. And I thought about younger me when I was, 14, 15, struggling with binging, didn't even want to look myself in the eyes in the mirror. And now I feel confident no matter what body fat percentage I'm at or whatever, because I took the time to build a strong body and a strong mind. And not only do I feel good about myself and I feel that, I also have so much more freedom because I took the time to build the base. And I'm not going to, I used to have a physique when I was younger, 16, 17, where I was binging, but I was working out all the time and not eating much, trying to maintain this physique because I was riddled with insecurity and that was what was fueling me. And now, a better physique, one that I'm proud of, whether it's got a little bit more body fat or a little less body fat, whatever, because I took the time to build my muscle up, heal my metabolism, heal my mental health, heal everything. It's so much easier for me to maintain this physique. And I look good at any body fat because I built that base. And there's just so many reasons that I have to be confident in myself because I showed up every day in the thick of it. And I showed up every day when I was in the middle, when it was the hardest. And when you show yourself that you're going to show up, even when it is difficult, even when it is hard, you are showing yourself that you love yourself. Because even when you truly don't want to go, you go anyways. And that is how you trust yourself. That is how you have assurance. That is how you build the most self-love and self-confidence that will help you get through any tough time. You are going to be the only person in your corner. You are going to be the only person that you have. So you might as well build yourself up mentally and physically. You might as well be strong. You might as well have mental fortitude and be physically fit. You might as fucking well. Because the only person who is truly going to help you and pull you out of it is you. That's the only person that's going to be able to do it. And I know that no matter what anyone says to me, no matter how anyone tries to help, I am the only one that is going to be able to do it for myself. And the second part of that has a lot to do with the mental fortitude part when you're struggling, when you're suffering, when you can't trust the process. Just know that even if your plan is inefficient and you're not seeing the physical wins that you want to see right away, you are mentally conditioning yourself. You are building mental strength. You are building mental fortitude by showing up on the days when you don't want to, by going through tough times, by moving forward when you feel like you're literally at your lowest point ever. So I hope that answers all of your questions. And if you are going through a tough time right now, or if you are struggling, whoever's watching this video, just know that I know you're going to be able to do this. Keep moving forward. Just because it's hard does not mean that you should quit. That is everything that I have for this video. Do not forget to do hard shit and be confident. Have the courage to be uncomfortable. But most importantly, remember that I am rooting for you. I love you guys. I'm so incredibly grateful for y'all. I will leave the link to my Instagram, to coaching, everything in the description of this video. If you want to reach out to me or DM me or have any questions, you can message me there, drop a comment down below, or book a call with me to see if we'd be a good fit working together. That is every single thing that I have for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you guys.